What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We have some news today. We have news every day. It doesn't matter. We got plenty to talk about here. Obviously, the big news is regarding Justin Fields. But I figured what we can do really quickly is kind of recap some of the rule changes that have went through. We can just briefly touch on that. So once that's over, then we can dive into the meat of what everyone really wants to talk about, which is of course what happened with the news with Justin Fields. And if you aren't aware, you will find out. So really quickly, let's see what we got here. I can pull it up here on the screen. Share screen. All right. So let's see. With the news that's coming, one of the big things that came out just recently that's been reported by Tom Pelissero is that the 49ers, or not the 49ers, excuse me, the NFL has approved the relaxation of the number restriction. So teams and players will be able to swap numbers, change numbers. Single-digit numbers will become available for different players, and I got the actual breakout here in front of me. So let's see what the breakout looks like. So based on the breakout, defensive backs will now be able to wear 1 through 49. Running backs, fullbacks, tight end, wide receivers will be able to wear 1 through 49, as well as 80 through 89. Offensive linemen will be able to wear 50 through 79. I don't think anything changes there. Defensive linemen, 50 through 79, 90 to 99. So Javon Kinlaw, wore number 3 back in South Carolina. Doesn't look like he'll be able to wear that number. He has to stick. He'll stick with what he currently has. I can't imagine he would switch anyways. Linebackers 1 through 59, 90 through 99. So yeah, that's exciting. I know one player who's already kind of tweeting about it and posting some stuff is Juszczyk. Juszczyk posted this photo of him back in the day, rocking number 2. Looks like his high school days. And he posted it with maybe I should change. We'll see. We'll see if that actually happens. We'll see if any of these players actually change their numbers. I know Deebo Samuel wore number 1 at South Carolina. He's been kind of vocal about potentially switching and doing some of that kind of stuff, but I don't know. He's done a lot of branding around the number 19. Of course, his accounts are 19 problems. So it'd be interesting to see if that actually changed and he actually want to change his number. We'll see. And again, if you guys are on Instagram, you guys can watch on YouTube as well. We're pulling up some stuff. We're being able to show kind of specifically what we're talking about. So if you want, you guys could head over there. And so let's see, there was another rule that was passed. Wasn't, groundbreaking or earth shattering, but they approved for expanded booth to official communication. That is apparently just to, hopefully make the process quicker, more efficient, less mistakes, things of that nature. So that was really it with the rule changes. And so what we'll do now is we'll talk about the whole Justin Fields situation. So let's get this up. So as most of you guys are aware, Justin Fields, it's been reported today that Justin Fields has epilepsy. which is a really, really interesting development. Um, this was something that I was not aware of. I had no idea that it existed. But of course, I feel like the timing of it is interesting. Being the draft is 8 days away. This isn't the first time I've seen information like this released this close to the draft, things of that nature. So just kind of talking about the timing of it, I would have to imagine that the 49ers have been aware of this since his first pro day. So based on the no combine, so typically I would assume that's where all the medical information would be coming from, um, in regards to the medical check and things of that nature. So I would have to assume the 49ers have had this information for a while. They're aware of it. They've known about it for probably quite some time. I would imagine at the very least since his first pro day, because that had to basically act as the combine situation where medical checks are happening. All this information is then divulged. So I would assume the 49ers have had some time to kind of sit on this and digest it. Um, and I'm going to go ahead. I'll read. They also kind of wrote an article about it. Oh, hello. But they're also saying, like, this is straight from Ian Rappaport. Ian Rappaport says the illness has not affected Justin Fields on the field. He also has other family members that have it and have outgrown it in their 20s. The prognosis from the doctors is that Fields should be in the same situation. Field symptoms have been shorter and less frequent over the past few years. So again, timing is everything in these types of situations. The timing of this being released 8 days before the draft, and everything that you've read about the situation, is it feels like it's really a non-issue, at least with what they're saying and how they're reporting it. But I think, again, we live in the headline era. We live in the headline era where people generate opinions and things like that off of simple headlines. So I think, part of the issue with hearing Justin Fields has epilepsy 8 days before the draft, I mean, that kind of made me take a step back, made me be like, okay, well, I need to go do more research about this. What does that mean? Have any other players in the NFL had epilepsy before and been successful? Has that ever occurred? Like, this was something that I've never come across, in my time of covering the draft. So I went and looked it up, and there are instances of NFL players who have been successful in the NFL. An example is Tiki Barber, arguably one of the best running backs in New York Giants history. He had epilepsy, apparently. I didn't know that. And Alan Faneca, one of the best offensive linemen to ever play the game. He's famous for playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He also has had epilepsy, and he played offensive line. So those guys are banging heads every single play, as opposed to quarterbacks who, they'll take their hits, but not as many as offensive linemen. Offensive linemen are banging heads every single play. I think Alan Faneca played for over 13 years in the NFL, had an amazing career. So there are instances. I believe there's another safety too, who also played for Baltimore, who had another great career. But again, it's something to, it's new information. This new information, at least for fans. So we'll see how I don't know, because again, if we go back and we read the actual article that they submitted, it doesn't sound terribly serious, because basically there's I'll read it. It's up here on the screen, and I'll kind of zoom up and make it a little bigger. So they're basically saying he was diagnosed as a youth. Fields has seen his symptoms get shorter and less frequent over time, and he doesn't have seizures as long as he takes his medicine, a source said. He's projected, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sources say team medical staffs have discussed Fields' treatment plans and whether any events during his NFL career, such as a concussion, could put him at greater risk, but Fields has no documented absences from games during a college career in which he was a Heisman Trophy finalist. Yeah, we get it. Fields wouldn't be the first NFL player to excel with epilepsy. They go ahead to mention Hall of Famer Alan Faneca. They mention the safety Samari Roll. But essentially, they're saying the neurological disorder is there, but it hasn't affected his career up until this point. And it even says right here, doctors are confident he'll grow out of it as his family members have. So that's part of the situation. Makes people a little uneasy about it. But there's examples of players having in the past, playing through it, being successful, as well as he has the family history and all these kinds of things that go along with it to kind of show like, okay, it does exist in their family, but it has, been not cured, but substantially subsided and hasn't been an issue for most of his family members. And the doctors apparently are backing it as well. But again, it's just again, it's the headline. Ohio State QB Justin Fields has confirmed to NFL teams he's managing epilepsy. So obviously you read that headline and it's like, oh no. Like it really kind of throws you for a loop for a second. And again, like I said, the timing is crazy. 8 days before the draft. It's just another thing that goes against Justin Fields currently at this time. So it's just weird. It's just interesting. It's unfortunate for him. But like I said, he's had this for some time now. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. I need to do something. Okay, we're back. It is hotter than I don't even know. It's just hot in here. I had to turn the fan on. It's getting crazy. So yeah, that's the thing. Justin Fields has apparently been managing epilepsy. So it's something that you can't just toss to the side. It's not something that you can just say is a non-issue or anything like that. Obviously, these teams have great medical staffs. They have all the access to the information and the resources and all of that kind of stuff to be able to really get to the bottom of it. Someone's saying, did you see Debo's story? Oh, look at that. Looks like Debo wants some of that one. Look at that. Yeah. Looks like Debo wants that one action. He Oh man, that's crazy. Let's go back to that. So Debo, looks like Debo wants some of that one. There it is. So obviously Debo's heard the news that you can do single digits now as a wide receiver. Obviously wore 1 with South Carolina. So be interesting to see if he actually makes a switch. But again, this is the part essentially where we can't speak, as fans, as, armchair evaluators, who are just, we only have access to what we have access to, we don't know. So like, we're not talking to team doctors. We're not talking to his team doctors. We're not, we don't know. So again, it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's a little bit scary to think of, clearly, because I think we understand how impactful brain injuries are in football and what they can lead to and some of the issues. And obviously epilepsy is not something to mess around with. I've known people to, unfortunately have passed because of issues related to epilepsy. So it's a tough situation. And again, I don't know how teams are going to handle it. I really don't. I don't know if that is something that they're just like, oh, like we can't, like, does Fields having epilepsy like remove him off people's boards? Like, I mean, if you guys remember, like, we want to go back, some revisionist history there for a second. When Reuben Foster was coming out, like, Reuben Foster, I think, was considered to be like a top 10 talent. But there was a lot of concerns with his medical, with his shoulder and how everything, and all that stuff is going to play out. And he slid to, I think, 31 is where we traded up to select him. So it's a tough situation. It's because this is like, I can't provide you any insight other than what I've read and things of that nature. Because this is something I've never dealt with. I've never dealt with a quarterback prospect having epilepsy. So that makes it really difficult. That makes it really difficult to really truly understand, like how that affects his stock, because there could be a team that sees the history, sees all of, his family history, the way he's been playing clearly at a high level with epilepsy. So he has proven that he can do it. Just going to be really, really interesting to see. Really interesting to see what happens with that. Because like I said, this could absolutely, like, if it's not like something that a team feels comfortable with, they can completely take Fields off the board or any other player off the board based on medical concerns. So yeah, that's real. That's a real thing. This isn't just talking heads, saying rumors, it being smoke season and all that kind of stuff. The timing is interesting. I would say that the timing is interesting. But you can't deny, he apparently has been dealing with epilepsy for some time since he was a child. Is taking medication, and things of that nature. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So what are we talking about now? Who's going to be the pick? Who's going to be the pick at 3? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I do believe this opens up the conversation. I do. You guys know, obviously, I've been super big on Justin Fields. But I can't tell you that, like, I can't say to you that, hey, this isn't a big deal. Like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's fine. I don't know how these teams view that. I don't know. So it will be interesting now because this is real. This is real. But like I said, Ben says he doesn't. Ben and Brandon are saying they don't think it makes a difference. And like I said, I would have to assume the 49ers have known this for some time. I would definitely have to assume that this isn't new news to these teams. But maybe with this, it does provide a little bit more insight into potentially why some of the talking heads are saying what they're saying. So, it'll be interesting. And yeah, again, the timing is interesting. All of it is just, we've seen this stuff before. I've done this, covered this before. I've seen things come out like this, injury related and what have you, really close to the draft. Some of it has, played a part, some hasn't. But like I said, NFL teams should know this stuff. This shouldn't be new news. It's only new news to us. So it changes the conversation. It really does. I think it does, at least for us, as fans, because again, we aren't. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my cell phone. Again, if you guys want to watch, we're having a decent time on YouTube. My YouTube's not cutting out. So again, if you guys want to make the migration from Instagram over. Yeah, I mean, being a big Fields guy, of course, this is a shocker to me as well. Because this is, like I said, it's real. Like, brain injuries are not something to be taken lightly. I've had my fair share of concussions from playing both rugby and football, more than I'd like to admit. So it's just, that's something that you have to be super careful of these days. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the fallout is from this, if there's any. It's going to be interesting to see. And that's the thing. Now it's like, with this type of information, you want to be like a fly in the wall of all these draft conversations and things like that. It's like, you want to know, like, all right, well, how do you guys really think about this? How do you guys view this information? Like, clearly you've had this information for a while. What do you think? So Serena asks, what would you do as GM or head coach? And see, that's the thing, is if I'm the GM or head coach and I really have some interest in Justin Fields, like, I would have to have all the information. I would have to, like, I'd want to talk to maybe his family doctors. Apparently this is something that's been in his family. I would like to speak to all his family members. I would like to speak to his, family physicians. I would like to talk to leading epilepsy experts in the field. I would like to speak with, players like Tiki Barber if they had the ability to. Um, I really would. So I would literally be talking to everyone I could to have a true understanding of what is happening and what the true implication is, because it is scary, being in someone who I'm not an expert on epilepsy, so it's hard for me to really speak on that. Um, yeah, it's just tough, man. It's tough to see that happen to a kid like Justin, who has been through so much adversity, it feels like, and just continues to get put in that situation. Um, so again, it's just another thing to see how he responds, see how he comes out on top. We'll see what happens, but I think, again, it doesn't matter. This could legitimately affect his stock. This could legitimately affect his stock. But the question said, like, what would I do? I would find out absolutely everything I could find about him. I would find out absolutely everything. Again, we're finding out for the first time just now. Like, we're just now finding out. But these teams should have known at the very minimum since his first pro day, when medical checks should have happened, and all that information, I believe, should have been handed over. I believe that's how the process is going. So again, it's the timing. Again, the timing is interesting. The timing plays a part in when this information was released. I don't know why fans would need to know that information necessarily. Like I said, they should have known this for some time. Clearly, the article's been written. They had to go follow up on sources. It looks like, they talked to multiple people before writing the article. So this information should have been out for a while. It's just now hitting the news cycle for the first time 8 days before the draft. So it just sucks, man. It just sucks. I feel for Justin. I really do. Just another question he has to answer. So does that mean I'm gonna kill this stream because it's not working. IG stream is bugging. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a tough situation. Tough situation. Because for me, I would have to find out as much information as I could. Like, clearly, if I'm going into this situation liking Justin Fields as much as I like Justin Fields, I would have to feel extremely confident that that situation isn't going to be an issue, because, again, you have to factor in the compensation. You have to factor in what was leveraged to move up to number 3 to go up and get a quarterback. And if the quarterback for some reason isn't available or can't be available, that makes it really hard. They're saying I'm messing up the IG live on purpose. No, I don't know what's going on with my IG live right now. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, it's not the. We were a lot happier. We were a lot happier when Fields had the pro day and we saw the smiling and all that kind of stuff. But again, like I said, I would have to assume, when we watched the pro day and we got all the visuals of just Fields smiling and laughing with Kyle Shanahan, I would have to assume at that point Kyle was aware. Kyle was aware of Justin Fields' situation, his epilepsy, all those kinds of things. I would have to imagine. All right, so they're saying Debo confirmed number change. Let's see. All right, well, looks like Debo is changing his jersey number. Let's see. I'll pull it up. So, looks like we got a new jersey number for Debo Samuel. Wow. All right. I guess he's going to swoop one before someone else can swoop. So, Debo Samuel looks like he's going to be changing to number 1. All right. Let's go. First number change. Man, I feel like I got to post that. All right. I'm going to post that. I'll pop back again. So if you guys are on Instagram, head over to YouTube. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to post about Debo going to 1. Show me the other ones. I know. I just want to watch Debo's story. So here you see it. 111. Jersey number changes incoming. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Again, everyone hopping on, head over to YouTube. Head over to YouTube before I shut down IG. You guys are wild. So, yeah, it looks like we got our potential first number change coming. Debo's hinting at it quite a bit. He is hinting at it quite a bit. So, we'll see. We will see. That is going to be interesting. Debo Samuel, going to be 1? Man, if you got a Debo jersey, you're going to be kind of pissed. Oh, man. It looks like he's going to 1. Over to YouTube. So that's interesting. Good thing you didn't buy a Mac Jones or a Debo jersey yet. I mean, that would be interesting, though, to see him change. Because I know there's a lot of 19s out there. I've seen a lot of 19s out there. Yeah, see Nick on Instagram saying he's got the white classic jersey. Man, that's crazy. He is clean. He is clean in the 19. He really is, but he's been all over the number change ever since it dropped. He was all over it since the news of it, being up for a vote. It looks like he's going. He's going for it. He's going for it. Let's go. All right. Whatever. Good for Deebs. Good for Deebs. So again, guys on Instagram, I'm about to shut it down. My Wi-Fi, whatever, is not working good. If you want to go keep watching, head over to YouTube, the SF Niners. We're going to be picking it up there. I'm going to bring this one down, but again, we're still live on YouTube. Head over there and we'll keep this thing going. All right. So let's see. We'll get to do some posting in real time. Let's see. Where's Debo's page? There it is. Yeah, he wants that one. All right, let's see what we got. So again, today is a bit of a bummer, especially if you are a Justin Fields fan, because like I said, I can't tell you that this does or does not affect his stock. Because let's see. New number for Debo incoming. Boop boop. Post. All right. Sorry, had to make a post. We're posting. We're doing lives. We're doing it all. We're doing it all. So hold on. I got to make the Twitter one. But yeah, so we've had better days. We've had better days. But like I said, this whole process, the 49ers have had to have known this. They've had to have known this. All these teams had to have known this. It's just, okay, well, now what do they do with that information? What becomes of that information? Do they feel confident that it's a non-issue? Because again, it's much different taking a guy with medical concerns that high in the draft. It really does have some. Casserly knew it. Is that why Casserly went 24? For Justin Fields, if you guys don't know, Justin Fields went 24th in Charlie Casserly's most recent mock. So, man, just what a crazy day. What a crazy day. And then it looks like it looks like Deebo Samuel's about to snatch one. Like, even if Justin Fields ends up being the pick, I would assume Justin Fields would want number 1, but it looks like Deebo Samuel is saying, nope. Looks like Deebo wants that one. So let's see. Again, sorry guys, I am posting really quick. Always hard to do the double tasking here of live plus posting, but you get to see how the sausage is made. Let's see. Just want to confirm something before I post to Twitter. Let's see. Yeah. New Jersey numbers. Fields medical. Oh, what a blow. What a blow. I would say it's a bigger blow. I would say the Fields stuff is a bit of a bigger blow than like a DUI or something like that. So that's the tough part, is that it's pretty substantial. But again, like I said, based on how it's been reported and the information that all these guys went out to go get, it does appear like it is something that can get better. So again, you just don't know. The team has to feel comfortable. The team has to feel comfortable. Okay, post sent. All right, post sent. So, man. So obviously we got Justin Fields on the screen. Oh, look at Trey. We got Trey in the chat. Look at Trey. He's saying 8 days. 8 days and he's coming. Honestly, damn, I was really confident about Justin Fields going 3 to the 49ers because he has so much ability. But again, I can't scout Kyle, John, Adam Peters, the medical staff, for the 49ers. Jed, I would even assume Jed York could even have like a thought or like the ability to provide input on something like that. Again, I can't project how teams view that. I can't project how Kyle and John and the organization feels, again, leveraging the draft capital that they gave up to move up to 3 to grab a guy that could have potential concerns later on down the road. Now, again, there are proven case studies in the NFL of players being all-pro, Hall of Fame type players that have had epilepsy, who use medication and have been able to do it. Again, the reports that came out today that Ian Rappaport had reported on was that it's been in his family. There is multiple instances where it has the symptoms of the epilepsy have subsided into the 20s. Ian Rappaport even put out a tweet saying that it could even be gone at this point. He basically said it could even be gone because he hasn't had symptoms. He hasn't, dealt with any issues. He hasn't missed any games because of the epilepsy. But, man, just tough. So it could be an issue, could be a non-issue. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I like this a lot. This is what I needed right now. I needed this right now. See, again, we need someone with some insight. This is where, again, but I'll pull it up. Of course, I'll pull it up. I like this tweet. So we talked about Alan Faneca earlier as being one of the guys who has done this before. Why is all my stuff freezing? Oh my goodness. So he quote tweeted Ian Rappaport, and he said, "If I did it, so can Justin Fields, and so can anyone else. It is a part of us, but it does not define us. Hashtag epilepsy. Hashtag never stop dreaming." So again, this is a little bit, makes me feel a little bit better. Because again, Alan Faneca is a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. And again, playing offensive line is much different than playing quarterback. Offensive linemen hit their heads every single play. Every single play, the first thing to make contact with the defensive lineman is their head. Let's see. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll pull it up to make it a little bit easier. So this is my helmet. This was my helmet as an offensive lineman. I've actually had helmets that looked a lot worse than this. But this is why, with Alan Faneca being a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, coming out and saying essentially, I did it, so can Justin Fields. It does make me feel a little bit better. It does make me feel a little bit better because, again, you have a guy who's saying, if I did it and be a Hall of Fame offensive lineman who hits his head every single play, like, this is my helmet. Like, this is my community college helmet when I played at DVC. I played offensive line. I played center guard. So you can get an idea of, the face mask. You can see how tore up the face mask is. This helmet was clean when I got it. So I'm just saying, like, and this isn't even one of my, like, most many helmets that I've had. Offensive linemen, go heads every single play. Like, these are deep. So the fact that you have an offensive lineman coming out basically saying, if I did it with epilepsy, why can't Justin Fields? So again, makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel a little bit better that we have a Hall of Fame offensive lineman who had epilepsy, who hit his head every single play, is coming out and saying those things. So I don't know. Again, it's just scary. I don't have epilepsy. I don't have the experience. I don't have the knowledge. I can only listen to people who have been in similar situations. So it's just a wild day. What a day. What a day. Draft night is going to be insane. I've been preparing myself mentally. I'm going to be live for the draft. So I'll be, talking about the picks. We'll be talking about the selections. We'll be talking about all this kinds of stuff. And of course, you'll get live reactions. So you're going to see me have happy tears or sad tears. You're going to see one of them. It's going to be happy or sad. Clearly, I, as a fan, would love Justin Fields. Would absolutely love Justin Fields. Trey Lance, if Trey Lance is the pick, I would be okay with it. I'm not going to pretend like I would be upset at it, especially, too, with this information. If that turns out to be a true decision maker in picking a prospect over another, and the concerns with the medical turn out to be something that they are really worried about, and Trey Lance is the pick, I'm okay with that. Trey Lance is a young, has a bright future in the NFL, and he can do what a lot of these guys he can do. He can fit into Kyle's scheme day one, not a problem. And then you have the ability to bring him along at his own pace, at his own speed, and who knows? Maybe he starts week one. Maybe the 49ers decide to move Jimmy Garoppolo during the draft. I don't know, but the only part where I'd be really upset is obviously if the 49ers take Mac Jones at 3. It just doesn't do it for me. Mac Jones at 3 just doesn't do it for me. I would love a situation with Justin Fields, obviously, but if the medical is too much, then I would be okay with Trey Lance. Let's see. I see Rome saying something. Oh, okay. So Raymond is saying Niners brass met with Lance's family while in Fargo this past Monday, which is interesting. I think so. If you guys missed it, I had Jeff Garcia on, former 49ers quarterback. Yesterday, we did a live together. And one of the things that he made a point to say when discussing some of these quarterback prospects is he mentioned the families that these players come from multiple times. And it honestly had me thinking after, because I'm a big psychology guy. I'm really big into psychology. I study child psychology, just a big psychology guy. And that, of course, translates into my evaluations and how I scout prospects and all that kind of stuff, because I'm a big emotional intelligence guy. I'm big on psychology. I'm big on all of that. And it really got me thinking when I was talking to Jeff Garcia yesterday, because Jeff Garcia mentioned multiple times, oh, he comes from a good family. He comes from a good family. He's talking about Justin Fields. He comes from a good family. He's talked about Mac Jones. He comes from a good family. And after he said it a couple times, I was like, that's a good point. Because, again, if you look at a lot of the psychological issues that people deal with, a lot of it stems back to how they were raised, their interactions with their parents or lack thereof. And that translates and basically molds who you become as an adult, right? And then those are the things that you're dealing with mentally, psychologically, all that kind of stuff as you grow up and you develop into your own person. You're dealing with a lot of the stuff that has been instilled in you from your parents, from your family situation, from where you grew up, the location of where you grow up. A lot of that plays into who you become. So when he was saying, like, you know, these guys are coming from good families, it really got me thinking. I was like, wow, that's a part of the evaluation process that I never really thought too much of. Because, again, there are psychological things that come along with having a, you know, bad family life, and how you dealt with those things and how you mentally bounce back from those things and what have you. So I don't think it's interesting. I mean, it is interesting that they met with the family, but I think there's a point to it. I think it absolutely makes sense for the 49ers GM, front office, Kyle, to get to know the family. Get to know the family of a guy who could be on the team for years to come. You want to know what these guys are made of. You want to know, like, how they're wired. And that's the hardest part. I've always say integrity is the hardest thing to scout. And that goes into that, because you want to know how someone is wired mentally when certain situations occur. We always pull from our past. We always go back and we deal with situations with how we've been raised and things have affected us in our past. So I think that's a big part of it. I really do. And Jeff kind of connected those dots a little bit for me. Yeah, Patrick Willis was a prime example of, you know, overcoming immense issues, you know, as a kid and all that kind of stuff, and being able to rise above it and elevate himself above it mentally. But not everyone can do that. That is so hard to ask of a person. So again, Jeff was talking about the family, where they came from, things of that nature. So I thought that was interesting. And again, Raymond had said that on KMBR that, or had heard on KMBR that the 49ers front office had met with Trey Lance's family. That makes sense. That makes sense. It even goes back to when Steve Young was on KMBR and said that Zach Wilson is going to the Jets, and they're even recruiting his family. Again, they mentioned family again. I thought that was interesting. So, yeah. Which one has epilepsy? That's Justin Fields. Justin Fields has epilepsy. And then this guy, Joshua, says that's why college coaches, when they're recruiting, show up to the family's house to introduce themselves and scout and recruit that person. And interact with them, get a picture with the fam, all that kind of stuff. So again, just another 8 days, guys. 8 days. 8 days. Oh my goodness. What a time to be alive. We have 8 days until the NFL draft officially kicks off. It honestly cannot get here sooner enough. So yeah, so I'm seeing from Akash, he's saying Trey Lance's family was at the second pro day, including his brother who's committed to play at NDSU. They wanted to meet the family, do all that kind of stuff, which makes sense. So, yeah, it's again, like I said, this information has been known in NFL front offices. I would see that's the thing. I don't know if the colleges would know, but God, I would imagine. I mean, see that's the thing. I don't know. We don't understand until a coach comes out like if the head coach at Ohio State comes out and says, we knew Justin had epilepsy. You know, his parents, you know, clued us in because obviously that's a big deal. I would have to assume they would know that, be like, his parents clued us in. We understood that the things that we had to look out for and protect him from to ensure he was on his medication. Like, I would assume they would know that. But again, I don't know. I don't know until someone else comes out and says it. And again, I keep going back to that the 49ers have had to know this for some time. They've had to know this for some time. They have had to have known since at the very least his first pro day. They have to. They have to have had known. So Alex is saying Ohio State definitely knows about it. All the players have to go through physicals and everything each year. I would assume they would have to know too, especially, you know, you have to sign waivers and you have to do all that kind of stuff to, you know, ensure that you don't sue the school, you don't sue the NCAA in case of any injuries or what have you. So I would have to assume that something like that has to be. What? All right, give me a sec. Let's see. Benjamin Albright is saying teams have known about it. Take a look at that. He said wife. I'm looking here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Albright saying it may not affect him. It's a piece of the puzzle. Again, he goes on to mention how other players have been able to be successful with it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Oh, my screen turned off. Get the helmet out of here. Show us the wife. Chill. I want you to throw away the trash. Yeah, I mean, Carolina moved. They understood that, you know, at least based on how everything's playing out, they weren't going to get one of those guys. But again, I don't know. I don't know how NFL teams view this. I do not. Because I'm trying to go back and do some research and see. When was Alan Faneca drafted? I'd imagine he wasn't a top pick. Celebrate getting Mac. Yeah, we're getting Mac. Is that it? Mac Jones at 3. Oh man, that would be a sad day. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised. All right, so Alan Faneca was a first-round draft pick. So Faneca was a first-round draft pick. He began having seizures, which was diagnosed as epilepsy at the age of 15. So he started on a medication to control it and was able to continue playing football. So Alan Faneca, Hall of Fame offensive lineman, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowler, Pittsburgh Steelers all-time team, and the NFL's 2000s all-decade team. It's a two-time first team All SEC. He was a consensus All-American. And again, this was a guy who was diagnosed at the age of 15. So that's the thing. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. And he was drafted in the first round. So the Steelers had to have known that information at the time. The Steelers would have had absolutely known that Alan Faneca had epilepsy. Yet they still took him in the first round. So that's interesting. But again, the difference is being selected 26th overall as opposed to third overall. Yeah, that Chasing Gold makes a good point. There could be a chance that Shanahan has known since he was a junior. There's a really good chance that Shanahan has known about this for some time. So again, we just have to go and do the fact finding, really have an understanding of how teams have dealt with this situation in the past. So again, Tiki Barber, running back for the New York Giants, he's another guy who had epilepsy or has epilepsy. He played for 10 years in the NFL. I mean, that dude got hit a ton. He's a running back. He's an all-time leader in rushing yards in New York Giants history. So yeah, that's a guy who has absolutely been through it. He has epilepsy. He was able to have a long career and be successful. He's still doing, announcing and things like that. So I don't know. It's again, I can't tell you. I can't say. I can't know like how this affects the front office, if it affects the front office. Oh, here we go. So Alex says he runs one of the largest Ohio State pages on Instagram. But he says, I can tell you that us as fans had zero idea that he was dealing with this and has never shown signs on the field. So that's interesting insight. So, just like what we are, we cover the 49ers. Alex covers Ohio State on Instagram. So clearly, guys like us, we have a pretty good sense of what's happening around the team. So that's pretty interesting insight, Alex. Thank you for sharing that. So as an Ohio State fan, he didn't know. He didn't know about it. But again, we just have to assume that people in these positions to have to clear people medically would have to know about that. So we'll see. Oh, and look at that. 49ers have signed running back Wayne Gallman. Look at that. Big moves. Breaking news. Here we have signed Wayne Gallman per Field Yates. The 49ers have a new running back. He was, I believe, most recently with the Giants. He is now on the 49ers. The 49ers have a new running back. I'm going to get this post out and then we'll talk about him because I like Wayne quite a bit. I always have. So we'll talk about Wayne here in a second. Let me get these posts out. So again, 49ers have signed a new running back, Wayne Gallman, former Clemson running back, was with the Giants most recently. So let's go. All right. I'm making the post. Again, you guys get to see the sausage making process here. So we've signed Wayne Gallman. They did not give a specific year range. I assume it's a year. The 49ers have signed Wayne Gallman. Have signed running back Wayne Gallman per Field Yates. Nope, not Justin Fields. Per Field Yates. Come on. Thank you. The 49ers have signed running back Wayne Gallman per Field Yates. Let's go. Okay, we got a signing. We got some movement. We got a new player on the squad. So let's get this thing going. Just want to confirm spelling. Come on, where is it? Man, my internet is moving slow today. So the 49ers have signed Wayne Gallman. Copy. Yes. Tweet. Tweet has been sent. Sort of. Internet is not. Yeah. So Raymond, this is a good question. Once I get all this stuff posted, I will answer that. Thank you. Okay, hold on. Almost done. Almost done. Okay, there's Instagram. And I got to throw in the story. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. All right. We're posted. We're posted. Okay. So, signing of Wayne, does that exclude the Niners from RB in the draft now? Honestly, I would say no. I would say no because I believe Jeff Wilson is only on currently on a 1 year deal. I believe Mostert's deal expires after this year. Jermichael Hasty, Austin Walters are on low range deals. So I don't I don't, and I like this pick. I really do. I like Wayne Gallman a lot. It's 26 years old, former 2017 fourth round draft pick out of Clemson. Being a big Clemson guy, he was Deshaun Watson's running back. Big Deshaun Watson guy. So I know Wayne Gallman very well. I've watched a ton of Wayne Gallman in college. I've monitored him throughout the league because of fantasy purposes, because I do think he's a good back. I think he really is a legitimate back. He hasn't gotten very many opportunities. That's just part of the issue with Gallman, is he hasn't got a ton of opportunities. He ran for 682 yards last year with Saquon Barkley going down. So we get him. So let's see here. I'll pull up some highlights. Why not? Let's take a look at Wayne Gallman, 49ers' newest running back. But to Raymond's point, I don't think it excludes them. It's not like he's a guy who's, a huge world beater at this point. If the 49ers decide that they want to go ahead and, really draft a bell cow, I don't think Wayne Gallman stops them from doing that. I also don't think it stops them from drafting a mid-round back either. So I think it's depth. It's a guy who's more than serviceable. It's a guy who's absolutely more than serviceable. I'll get some highlights going here in a sec. Let's add to the stream. All right, let's see what we got. So I like this pickup a lot. So just right there, you get a really good idea. Look at the cutback, the vision. I like it. Look at already puts his foot in the ground, plants one cut, finds the hole. Is that a Blitz Boy? Oh, sorry, Blitz Boy. Finds the hole, the subtle ability to cut in the hole, lose Bobby Wagner. Again, makes another guy miss. I like Wayne Gallman. I've always liked Wayne Gallman. I'm excited about this. Let's go. Clemson boys. I love the Clemson boys. And it is a 1-year deal. So it is a 1-year deal for Wayne Gallman. To me, that's nothing that would, again, stop the 49ers any future draft plans. It does not at all. It does. I don't think this affects them at all. I like how they keep adding pieces or discussing adding pieces with, I think, positions that they're going to go after and draft. Oh, we signed another one. We signed Arden Key to a 1-year deal. Let's go, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan. We're rocking today. We got 2 signings. Arden Key, former defensive end for the Raiders, is headed to the Bay Area to be a 49er. So we just got and he's like a speed rusher guy. He's got the length. He has the ability to turn the edge, bend the corner. He's one of those types of guys. He's not going to be a stout, run defender, but he has some traits that you would like in pass rushing situations. Just another. He's like a Deion Jordan, like exactly what Deion Jordan did for us last year. That seems like an appropriate thought process with Arden Key. And he's much younger. So that's nice. There still might be some untapped potential there. So 49ers have signed. So Arden Key to a 1-year deal. Nice. 49ers just made 2 moves, 2 signings to make us feel better about the Justin Fields news. The 49ers have signed D.N. Arden Key to a 1-year deal per rap sheet. All right. The 49ers have signed D.N. Arden Key to a 1-year deal. Post. Going to Twitter. All right. Now to Instagram. All right. 2 signings straight off the bat. All right. Well, that helps. That makes us feel a little bit better. So 2 solid depth pieces. 2 really, really solid depth pieces. Wow. Let's go. Super good depth pieces. Let's go. Let's take a look at Arden now. So we were just getting into Gallman highlights, and news breaks. Arden Key. Now, he was a guy that, I felt where he went. I think he went in the 3rd round. I think that was appropriate. I don't feel like he was a Brian Burns type guy. Dang, they're already got highlights up. All right, whatever. Welcome to the Niners. That was quick. So let's take a look. All right, where are you, Arden? Let's find you first. So here we go. We got Arden kind of in the stand-up role, typical of pass rushers. You can see you got the 3, you got your big end here. It's kind of like a Leo situation. Runs right into him. Whatever. Works. Backside. So that's, you like that effort right there. He has to hold contain, make sure nothing bounces outside of him, follows the track, gets a tackle from behind. All right, so here we got Arden playing on the left side. I believe this is that Crosby? No, that's him right here. Here you go. That's not a tight end. What is this play? What did the tackle just do here? What did this tackle do? That's a bust on the offensive line, but good for Arden for making the tackle. That's just a terrible situation on the offensive line. I don't know what the hell that was. But you got to make the play. Where is he? So, I mean, you can see, though, he's got traits. He's got tools. I want to see his get off a little bit more. So here we go. Here's Arden up here. See at top of your screen. He's going against Garrett Bowles. So he's one of the better left tackles in the league. He just got a huge contract. So let's see. Let's watch it again. So looks like more of a coverage sack. But still, you got to get home. That's half the battle. Some weird, poor pass blocking communication by the tight end and tackle here. Um, Obviously, you see the tackle go around. Tight end gets stuck with his hands in his pockets. Gives Arden Key the inside lane to get home. So, I mean, last two plays have both been, offensive line issues. But let's see. So, this play, you get to see some of the hand fighting, some of the, he got pushed out. He got rode outside the pocket. Luckily for him, the QB tried to escape and get out. So far with these highlights, they're opportunistic. I would say they're opportunistic highlights, waiting for him to create his own. Like here, this is a good one. This is a good one. We like this one. So you got Arden Key up here. I don't understand the play design at all. What are these plays, man? Why are you leaving Arden Key? Why are you leaving like two dudes unblocked? What is happening? Yeah, I don't know what the hell this play is. That's just a weird play. But again, you got to make the play. Stays home. He has really nice tools. Good tools. So let's see. Great. Again, this is just great effort. Great effort. You're not always going to win right away. Like you see him just get the speed. His speed just got 65 all mixed up. With the swipe, gets around. Boom. Okay, Arden. I like that. 49er fans like that. We like to see Russell Wilson getting his head clobbered. Ooh! Look at that. That's nice. I like that. And this is a good angle. It's a much better angle to get an idea. Let's slow it down a little bit. See if we can spot any technique in here. So he gives them a little jab step. It looks like he's giving him the little... No, he's going for the swipe. So he went for the swipe here. Watch this arm. He tries to gain control of his outside arm so he could hit the corner, and it worked. So hits him up with a little head fake. Speed allows him to do that. Watch the arm reach over and swipe. And so when he swipes, completely turns the offensive lineman. Offensive lineman can't keep his shoulders. I mean, it's just terrible technique by the offensive lineman, but great technique by Arden to be able to set it up, swipe, and it just completely, tackle has no answer. And then you see his ability to get after it and just go get it. Maybe you want to see him get a little bit lower. I know Russell is a small guy, but that could be helmet to helmet. But like I said, he has the tools. He has the tools. Always been a toolsy guy. I think that's Jermaine Ifedi. Not the greatest offensive lineman in the world. But again, like you like to see it. You like to see the swipe. Swipe the arm, get around the corner, bend it, turn it, do the work. Good stuff, Arden. Just got to be careful because that could absolutely be a flag. So you just kind of want to see him get a little lower. He is tall. He's a big guy. Looks like, look at Ifedi. Ifedi's bum. This guy's terrible. So this is happening essentially because the left tackle is just getting completely pushed back into Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson can't step up in the pocket. That's why it has to bail. Left tackle gets absolutely pushed back, forces Wilson to bail. What's going on? Come on, internet. Don't fail me now. He does kind of he looks a little bit like Alden with that 99. Alden was definitely more capable in the run game. What is happening with my internet today? Yes, play. So there he is against the run. Again, he's got to stay home. Typically, you see him squeeze into the hole, but you want him to keep outside contain here. You don't want to allow the running back to bounce outside. That's part of one of his responsibilities. Being an edge player is to be able to he's got to keep contained. So, but luckily for him, he's able to kind of get around it, has some help, all that kind of stuff. So he's a toolsy guy. Like he has the athletic ability. You see flashes. You know, a lot of what we're watching is a bit, opportunistic. You know, having a good motor. Again, he's not getting home initially. But it's the second efforts that are helping him get home. So, I mean, so far, again, that's pretty solid. The video might be laggy. I don't know what's going on with the internet today. My internet decides if it wants to act up or not. So this one's with Arden. We got a pass deflection. This one we didn't get a good look at. Internet's super choppy. All right, so here we go. We got Arden Key going up against some Matthew Stafford. This will be some NFC West rivalries going. Oh, where is he playing? Is he on the 3-tech right here? Okay, this is nice. So you have Arden right here. He's lined up in the 3-tech, so he's basically looks like he's outside shade of the left guard. And then you'll see a little stunt here. So it looks like this is Clellan Farrell. It's like so his responsibility on this play is to crash and basically occupy these two guys so that Arden Key can come around. Yep. See? That's how you do it. So that's how you drop the stunt. Worked perfectly. They weren't clued into it at all. You can see the tackle is not looking for Arden. He takes Clellan, pushes him inside. Guard is on this play is going to assume that the tackle is going to pick up the looping guy so that he goes to there, but you can see it doesn't work out like they wanted it to. Arden gets home, gets a sack. Stunt worked as executed. So this one he reads the screen. He read it, kind of stopped, got in the passing lane. I believe he's 6'6", so he's got some good length to him. So, it's not bad. I like the signings because they 49ers sign running back Wayne Gallman and the end Arden Key. So there we go. So we got two guys that are depth players. They're absolutely depth players, but they offer some upside. Both of them do. Both of them offer upside, in my opinion. So that's good. I like those signings. Go back to Wayne Gallman a little bit. We didn't get to see too much of him. Yes, this was actually the one that I was hoping for. Maurice Hurst, more of an interior defensive lineman. He was also released by the Raiders. He was someone that I would honestly think would be a great fit for the 49ers as well. So who knows? Maybe he finds his way over to the 49ers as well, especially after Arden Key signs. I would have to assume with Arden signing that Ronald Blair won't be resigning with the 49ers. There was a report by Jennifer Lee Chan last week that if he were to pass his physical, that being Ronald Blair, that he would resign with the team. Clearly, there's been no announcement that Ronald Blair has resigned, and now we have seen the 49ers go a different route, signing Arden Key, pass rush specialist, to a 1-year deal. So that might be a sign, like I had mentioned, that Arden Key is not coming. Dude, these guys are fast with the highlights. They're already welcoming them to San Fran, all that kind of stuff. And I apologize for saying San Fran. I don't know why I said that. San Francisco. So, yeah, I like Maurice Hurst a lot, too. But here's some Wayne Gallman. We were talking about this. So we were just getting into Wayne Gallman's highlights right as the Arden Key news information broke. He's a guy that I really have liked since his days in Clemson. He's a guy that I felt hasn't gotten his fair shake at the opportunities. Again, he's been playing with the Giants. The Giants have been a dumpster fire from the offensive position for some time now. That wasn't the greatest highlight. What is this? But see, here's a perfect example of the ability that he can provide as a pass catcher out of the backfield. He's a really good runner. He has great vision. He has really good one-cut ability. I really think he's going to do well in this offense. I really do. I think he will do pretty well in this offense. In the zone scheme, ability to make plays out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Yeah, Wi-Fi is not treating me well today. So I apologize. Guys, I apologize. Wi-Fi is not treating me well today. But like Wayne Gallman, quite a bit. He's someone I might have to go to the waiver wire in a couple dynasty leagues, see if he's available and go snatch him up. Because he's actually a guy that I could see contribute. Again, he's a young guy. He's got relatively fresh legs. Hasn't been used a ton. Of course, the most opportunities he got was last season when Saquon Barkley went down with the ACL. But he has talent. He's a talented back. So No Limit Kai, I appreciate you. He says, I'm a Steelers fan, so I don't know how I got here, but I'm definitely subscribing. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I really do. I really appreciate you. I don't know how you got here either. I have no idea how you got here. Uh, but we appreciate you subscribing to the page. That's actually really cool. Um, so yeah, two new signings. Two new signings. I've been on here for a while. Obviously, we came on here to talk about Justin Fields. We came here to talk about the epilepsy. We came here to, kind of rip that apart. We got into some of the rule stuff. We got some of the changes. But obviously, what has happened recently is the 49ers have signed two players. They have signed Wayne Gallman, former New York Giants running back, only 26 years old, to a one-year contract, as well as Arden Key, another young defensive end who formerly played with the Raiders. We also had potential jersey changes coming for Deebo Samuel. Looks like he could be wanting to switch up to go take number 1. We've had Juszczyk come out. Potentially might want to change his number. We'll see. Don't know. But yeah. Interesting stuff. So I just talked about this. I would say Arden Key tells us that Ronald Blair isn't coming back at least anytime soon. He could be coming back later on in the year, closer to camp. But the fact that he is... Wait, was he? Wait. Was Arden Key the number 3 overall pick? No, he wasn't. There's no way. Arden Key Fraft. He was not. What was where? Third round. Yeah. Why does it say? Okay, so that's why Matt Barrows made a little bit of a hiccup. He said the team on Wednesday signed Arden Key, the number 3 pick to the Raiders in 2018. He was a third-round pick in 2018, not the number 3 overall pick. So that confused me for a second. But yeah, so that's what we got. 49ers have made some moves today. Give us something else to talk about other than the draft. Thank you, guys. I appreciate them for doing that. Oh, man. I appreciate the 49ers for giving us something to talk about other than the draft. So, yeah. Yep. Just like Joshua said, 2 good pickups for us today. Like the Wayne Gallman signing the most out of the 2. I think Wayne Gallman could absolutely be a contributor, absolutely fill in the Tevin Coleman role. He, I would say, has a better, almost similar skill set to Coleman, might even be a little bit better because he offers a little bit more out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Again, Gallman is a guy I've always liked a lot because I do like Clemson. So I pay attention to all the players that come out of Clemson. He was one of them. He's a guy that I've always really liked. So I like this. I like Gallman a lot. I'm hyped that we got him. I think he could be a good fit, and really provide some key depth. So according to Tracy Sandler, 49ers fangirl on Twitter, over his 4-year career, he has appeared in 53 games with only 338 carries. So, a good running back with good usage can put up 338 carries in a season. It is a lot, but It is possible. So, but even though with only those 338 carries sparsed over 4 years, he was still able to run for 1,444 yards, 9 touchdowns, 80 receptions, and for 498 yards, 2 touchdowns. So again, that's spread out over 4 years, but that's good production over 4 years, especially considering he was buried for like the first year or two. Didn't really get much run. Got a lot of run last year because of Barkley going down. But that's solid production. Solid production for a 1 year contract. I'm assuming it's not going to be crazy. Is Gallman a 3-down workhorse running back? I think he's capable. I think he's capable of running between the tackles. He's capable of being a good pass blocker, and he's capable of catching out of the backfield. So he can be on the field on all 3 downs. I'm not sure he's a guy that you would typically be like, oh, yeah, we're signing Wayne Gallman to be our bell cow. But I think there's an opportunity for him to – he can do all those things. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside zone. He can pass block and be a threat in the passing game. He has good hands. He has routes. He has the speed. He has the cutting ability. He has the vision. He has all of it. So it's honestly a great signing. It's such a great signing. I love it. I think it's a fantastic signing. And yeah, you know, he didn't have much of anything in New York. He's been buried. He's never gotten much of an opportunity. So I like it. I really do. I like it a lot. I really, really like it a lot. And he did have much of a role. Go back to 2019 and you look at Coleman. Coleman was a starting running back. So he did have quite a bit of a role. It didn't matter who had the hot hand in 2019. It was Tevin Coleman coming out with the starters. If you don't recall, it was Tevin Coleman coming out, running between the tackles on the first play. It wasn't until way later in the season that things changed. So yeah, Coleman did have much of a big role here. Maybe not in 2020, but absolutely in 2019. Let's see. All right. We're getting into it. Hour 42. Yeah, I mean, if you played fantasy, you know who Wayne Gallman is. People were dropping all their fab on him to get him when Barkley went down. So yeah. I wouldn't say. So that's the thing. Working on me says great signing. No need to take RB high in the draft. Focus on cornerback, O-line, wide receiver. # Fields great, baby. Now, I don't think there's ever been a need. I don't ever see Kyle Shanahan needing to take a running back high. What is going to be interesting to see what happens if he wants to take a running back high. Because obviously we all believe, I mean, look at the running backs on the roster right now. Wayne Gallman, 4th-round pick. Raheem Mostert, undrafted. Jeff Wilson, undrafted. JaMychal Hasty, undrafted. Austin Walters, undrafted. So you can make the case that Kyle Shanahan never needs to take an RB high. It's the question is, does he want to? Does he want to get a Javonte Williams? Does he want to get a Travis Etienne? Does he want to get a Najee Harris? We don't know. I don't know. Apparently, they were talking a bunch with Najee Harris. That could indicate, that, hey, maybe they do want to get one of these workhorse guys, and maybe they feel Najee Harris is a guy who's a little bit different than, some of the other guys that you typically would find later on in the draft. But again, like, they're filling great holes that depth is needed. We needed depth at the defensive end position. We needed depth at the running back position. The 49ers just went out and got 2 guys with NFL experience who have proven they can do it, have been successful in the league. So, yeah, it actually works out not bad. How that affects the draft, I don't think Arden Key would stop the 49ers from taking an edge rusher at 43. And in regards to the running back, it's just totally, how does Kyle feel? How does Kyle feel? Does he want to spend that, like that type of draft capital on a running back when he's had so much success with later picks, undrafted free agents? Who knows? I don't know. No idea. That's what I would do. I think Kylan Hill out of Mississippi State, Elijah Mitchell out of Louisiana Lafayette, Chris Evans out of Michigan, Khalil Herbert out of Virginia Tech. There are running backs everywhere in this class. So I would be okay with kicking the can down the curb and, taking running back late. So we'll see, though. Who knows? Yeah, well, there's 2 guys that I didn't even mention. Trey Sermon, Chuba Hubbard, some additional good running backs that are in this class. There's some good mid-round. There are some good mid-round running backs. And again, the depth, the way running backs are valued, just not a highly valued position anymore. Because when you find the Matt Breidas, when you find the Raheem Mosterts, you find the Jeff Wilsons, undrafted free agents, do you want to spend a number 4 overall pick on Leonard Fournette just to cut him a couple years later? Not everyone turns into Derrick Henry, things like that. So Zach Wilson will attend the NFL draft in Cleveland. So that has nothing to do with us, but he will be there. I believe Fields is staying home. At this point, you should just stay home. Chill with the fam. Wilson is a hammer of a running back. His running style could lead to injuries. He is, though. He'll run through you. But he hasn't got a ton of run, consistent playing time. So he still has pretty fresh legs. Will be really interesting to see, though, what happens. My guy's saying RB is only worth 2nd round pick, in my opinion. I kind of feel like that's where the league is trending, because of the things that I've mentioned, with kind of the positional value. Yeah, Chubb and Henry were both worth it. But if you remember, Chubb had injury concerns. Sony Michel, was coming out of that backfield with Chubb. I honestly thought Sony Michel was going to be a better pro than Chubb was, and I turned out to be wrong on that one. Chubb actually was able to rebound from the knee injuries and has become one of the best backs in the NFL. Meanwhile, Sony Michel, I haven't even heard a word. No, Sony Michel, I'm tripping. I got it mixed. Sony Michel was the guy with the knee problems. I took Sony Michel off my board. I loved Sony Michel. I loved his ability at Georgia, but the knee issues, and I'm talking about fantasy and dynasty and all that crap. So, he was a guy, Sony Michel, I had to take off my own personal board when I'm drafting in dynasty and doing my rookie drafts. I liked him a lot, though. But I had to take him off the board because of the knee issues. I ended up drafting Chubb, I think, at 108. So he was the 8th rookie selected in that particular rookie draft in my dynasty. Has served me well. What didn't serve me well was trading up to 104 and drafting Kerryon Johnson. That has not served me well. So free Kerryon Johnson, please. Someone get Kerryon Johnson onto another team. Please free him. Sosa and Bosa are going to be a good duo. I don't think the NFL, I don't think the average fan understands what's coming with Samson Ebukam. I really don't. Ooh, what do we got here? 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 Here we go. Okay, I'm pulling it up. So this is what I wanted. So this is now what I'm about to pull up is in regards to Justin Fields, in regards to some of the stuff that's being said about Justin Fields. So this is from Ryan Day, Justin Fields' head coach. He clearly felt the need to come out and make a statement regarding Justin Fields. Of course, like I said, the timing about the information with Justin Fields, I think, is just as interesting as the actual news itself. Because again, this stuff happens all the time. This isn't the first time I've seen injury information leaked before the draft. This is not the first time I've seen that. So again, like that's just as big a piece of a puzzle to all this as the actual injury itself, which is the epilepsy. So let's go. I'll share the screen. Add. Make it a little bigger so you guys can read. So this is from Ohio State's head coach. He clearly felt the need to come out and say, he hasn't said a single thing. He hasn't tweeted, I don't think, a single thing about Justin Fields through all this slander and all the situations that he's dealt with. And Ryan Day says Justin's health, toughness, and work ethic have never been an issue. And I'm incredibly proud of his professionalism and the character he displays on and off the field. The fact that he never missed a game at Ohio State speaks volumes about how he takes care of himself. So, again, this is the kind of stuff that you want to see from people who have relationships with these guys. Ryan Day, obviously being his head coach, being the guy who recruited him to come over from Georgia to Ohio State. Again, he really hasn't publicly said too much during this process. But again, the timing of this information being released 8 days before the draft, and then Ryan Day, his head coach, comes out and speaks on it. I'm just going to go back and look. Oh, there he is. What a legend. Man, I hope this is the wildest offseason. You know, I thought that Antonio Brown offseason was crazy. This is absolutely the craziest offseason we've ever experienced. Absolutely the craziest offseason we've ever experienced. So I'm just looking through his feed because, like I said, Justin Fields has been under attack or whatever. He's been on the opposite side of scrutiny for some time, more so than it feels like any of the other quarterbacks. It seems like he's the one that just is constantly in the crosshairs of the national media. I don't think he's ever come out and made a statement. He hasn't come out and made a statement regarding Fields this entire time. And yet today, based on, again, the information that's coming out, Day's saying, basically, this kid's fine. So again, it's trying to connect the dots, try to let these things just consume you too much, because like I've said, I have been in this situation before, days leading to the draft, weird medical news drops about a top prospect. You're like, why the hell is this being reported now that everyone's known about? Like I said, all this information should have been discovered and discussed at the original pro day when the medical, like, I don't know how it happens, but I'm assuming there's an entire package in regards to medical, of course, measurements. I would go as far as probably they got the blood type. Like they've tried and figure out if you have anything wrong with you. The history of your entire list of injuries going back to high school, middle school. They want to know exactly what you've been through. So again, I have to assume that these front offices have known this for some time, because his original pro day was over a month ago. So I would have to assume they've had that info since then. And again, the timing is just interesting. It's now, what are we talking about, right? Now, what are the talking heads talking about? Now there's some ammunition to back up Trey Lance to 3, Mac Jones to 3. Oh, maybe the 49ers have known about this, and that's what we're hearing. You can spin this a million different ways. So now that's what we do. We sit back and we watch how the talking heads are going to go about spinning this and seeing what they pull from this. And that's also a good point. This could be from a team who wants him to fall. They could want the 49ers to really not take him. Because again, what have we heard from all the football guys? All the football guys, including Jeff Garcia, who we had on yesterday, was like, it's got to be Justin Fields. It's got to be Justin Fields who they want, because he can take the offense to a whole nother level. So yeah, this could be something that's being leaked by another team to sway public perception. Because let's be honest, they're doing everything in their power to sway public perception. It's like nonstop. The Justin Fields, like, the whole Justin Fields thing is just wild. It's just like they're just constantly coming after the kid. It's not one thing, it's the other thing. So I don't know. Again, I have to assume teams know this stuff. I have to assume that. I have to assume they've known for some time. Again, it's just we're all finding out about it right now. So we'll see. We shall see what comes of it. We shall see. So, damn, can't believe we've been talking for 2 hours. Thank you, everyone who's been on. I like this thought. Maybe Justin shared this info so the Jets don't take him at 2. I like that thought. I like that much better. Yeah, and this is how it always is. It's interesting. Devin says it's interesting to see a player be viewed as a clear-cut number 2 for the draft for years, and then, come time for the draft, the process, he drops. He's 5th. He's going 24th overall, according to Charlie Casserly. Kellen Mond is better than Fields, according to Chris Sims. It's weird. It's weird. So it's weird. It's just weird. It's a weird, and again, I told you guys about my personal account. I told you about like what that account was used for last year. Like, obviously, I'm pro Niners, and I'm always going to have the Niners back. But I knew there were some issues going on with Jimmy, and that there was a potential that Jimmy, might not be the answer next year. So I started scouting quarterbacks early last season, and I started crushing on Justin Fields really early in the process. And I started crushing on him before the narrative switched in season. So he was Heisman front runner early on. Everyone was loving him. And then he had the bad game. And it's like the whole narrative flipped on Justin Fields. And so even since last season, there's just been a weird narrative that's followed him. It's been a really odd narrative. He'd even come out every week and again show what he was capable of. The narrative just followed him. So whatever. It is what it is. It's just going to be interesting now. So again, what we're looking at is tweet from Ryan Day, Justin Fields head coach. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what else comes out. Again, this just threw a huge wrinkle from an outside perspective. Again, this, like I keep talking about, the 49ers could have known this for some time. The 49ers could have known this for some time, but it's just now hitting the media. We're now just digesting it. We're now trying to wrap our heads around it. We're trying to pick it apart. You hear the brain disorder, which is epilepsy. You understand the connections with CTE in the NFL. It just opens up a whole can of worms. But the NFL, like the 49ers front office, could have completely vetted the situation to where they feel confident. I don't know. But I don't know. It changes a lot. It makes it a lot harder for me to, bang the table and say it's Justin Fields, because I still want Justin Fields. That doesn't change for me. It just changes how confident I feel now about Fields going 3. Because before I was pretty confident. I was really confident. I posted earlier today. What did I post earlier today? Like, this is how confident I was before this stuff came out. Where is it? So you guys probably saw it. No, I want to go to my page. Come on. It's not that difficult. As you can tell, I'm never on desktop version for Twitter. So I still want Justin Fields. I'm just scared. Now. So, like, I tweeted this earlier today, like not too long before all the stuff came out, was again posting, the it's fine meme, right? With all the different narratives that, continue to come out. 98% of the teams, it's Mac Jones. I've been told it's now Trey Lance, blah, 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 blah. Like, so, and the caption is, can't wait to buy my Justin Fields jersey in 8 days. Not feeling as confident, because again, this is something I can't evaluate. I can't evaluate it. I can only evaluate with as much information that I have available. Again, we've looked at people who've been successful in the past. There have been Hall of Famers who have epilepsy diagnosed early. and had Hall of Fame careers. So just tough to forecast. It makes it a lot harder to forecast because it throws in. Oh, look, it's Dad. What's up, Dad? It just makes it difficult to forecast, like I mentioned. So, yeah. Can't remove myself from the stream. So we draft Justin Fields at Justin Fields, Debo, and him fighting for the number one. It sounds like Debo's going to make sure that number one comes to him before anyone can even have a shot at it. Debo is clearly planting his flag on the number one. He did it when it was a rumor, and clearly has planted the flag now since the rule has actually passed. So, yeah. So, KP quote tweeted one of my tweets, that the one that I had with Debo Samuel. He runs Niners Nation on Twitter and Instagram. He's the editor-in-chief over there. He said, "Oh, Debo's going to take one, so Justin Fields can take 10." I was like, "Damn, that's cold." That's cold. So we'll see. So we'll see who has the damn ball, dude. We'll see. God. What are we saying here? It's not a problem until it becomes a problem. However, this, for whatever reason, will find relevance to those to fixate on it. Yes, we've talked about that. He'll ball, though. That epilepsy is no joke. He'll be blessed either way. Again, you just have to make sure the team is comfortable. As long as the team is comfortable taking him, yeah, we'll find out. I'm not worried about numbers until we have guys on the squad. So, all right. So I will be back at 6 o'clock. I'll be back at 6 o'clock. We're going to be doing a more draft-specific show. My guy Jordan will be on with me. We'll be talking more prospects. I'm sure we're going to focus more on second, third round guys. We have maxed out quarterback evaluation opinions. So probably at 6, we'll just be talking about other prospects that can be had in the second, third, potential fourth, and see what other guys are available. That we're so hyper focused on quarterback. At 6 tonight, we'll be able to focus more on some other prospects. So, yeah, we'll talk about something else other than quarterback for a little while. So, again, come back at 6 Pacific Standard Time. Me and my guy Jordan, we're going to be going over more prospects, less news. Appreciate everyone sticking with me for over 2 hours. Absolutely such a long time. Appreciate you guys sticking on. Again, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Every like, every subscription supports me, supports the page, supports us to allow us to be able to keep doing this stuff. So again, appreciate everyone who supports. And again, we'll be on at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking more draft prospects, less news. All right. Appreciate you guys.